Brent Ritzner here. Today I wanted to share with you the importance of using the indirect influence rather than direct influence. What I mean by that is a direct influence is like a threat or telling truth as it is. I mean, sometimes it's important, but I'll tell you. I'll discuss this like in a little bit of detail later. Um, it's better to have more patience, a little bit of finesse, um, like using a little bit of like incentives or uh, e- even some sort of like a loving kind of ways that actually affect people a lot better. And uh, if you use this like a direct influence, like a direct way to try to manage people, it generally backfire because it actually leaves quite a resentment, and the people cannot think when they get threatened. So you're trying if you're trying to help somebody, uh, you're not trying to help them to think themselves. So and it's actually rather you're stopping them to think, like almost like you're just having them obey, and that's a negative negative really trait for a variety of reasons. Unless you're in the, like even in the military or that type of strict stuff, like if you're just be a complete follower, it's not really effective because you got to be able to adapt, and then if something's not going quite right, then you got to make your own decisions and so forth. So um, yeah, so it's really important that for instance, when I was younger, like I thought like honesty, right? Like a direct honesty, like really kind of blunt. What I think I say would be the best course of the communication, right? I mean, like you're telling the truth in a sense, like in a direct way. But then issue is like even though you think it's a truth, but a lot of times it's not being agreed upon, so people might take it in the wrong way, and 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 then you come across really as aggressive because truth is a blunt tool. You got to remember that people are not humans are not really used to truth. It means it's like we're truth is historically truth is very difficult to come by. It means it's like it's like we are in the we live in a layer of perceptions, like protected by the layers of protection, like perceptions. And whatever comes, like objective truth or whatever, like from the visual, smell, hearing, it goes through some sort of filters. So even like objective truth is really difficult to actually for human to experience. So whatever the truth, like even the ideas, like coming up to the objective ideas, like mathematics or physics or whatever they are, or more like moral truth or whatever those things are not easy for most people to be accessible. And then if you bring that in front of people, it's really strong. Like the impact is very strong. Okay, and it doesn't mean that the people will accept that truth. It means just like people wanted to live in a certain set of like ideas or narratives or stories, like images, and most of people just don't want to live in this like blanket notion of like objective truth. So it's not necessarily it's good to just give people what it is, right? So yeah, I didn't know quite that, and then and the interaction becomes quite contentious, and I didn't really know what I did really wrong because I said it honestly, and people don't take it right, that's not my problem. That was kind of my attitude. It's in a sense quite selfish, if I think about this, because it's when you utter something, right, you're not uttering something to yourself, but that's somebody else, so it's already involves somebody. So that means like you have to be considerate of the power that you have when you speak, and I didn't have that. And but then when I start realizing, okay, it's like a direct influence, right? It's like going to the battle and then you just charge. I mean, this is the laziest way in a sense. I mean, it could be very courageous, right? But then, yeah, I mean, if there's a bullet flying and you just kind of run, it's a courageous thing, but is it smart? Not really. For the most of the time, it's just silly. So you really have to go like a little bit of finesse, different angles, different tactics to have people accept, like realize, like what you're trying to say. So if you have like I noticed like the like you if you're type of people that, oh, I don't get somebody, I don't get like why people are behaving this way, if you don't get it, then you probably are very self-centric ideas. Means it's like you are very straightforward, but then you got to understand that many people are not like this. So how what's the difficulty to implement this? Like, so a lot of times the difficulty is like you are being bothered by something, right? And then you wanted to fix it immediately, and then that you think the immediate fix is going to be the straightforward way. But then that kind of mindset you got to rethink. It's like taking a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, a little bit of more effort will result in a better outcome. It's just like anything else, right? You want to get to the goal as soon as possible, but then generally speaking, fastest route is doing it right, take it step by step. So that's the thing. Gotta challenge your I would say prejudice, so to speak. Like you have this notion that the best way is to go direct. So why doesn't this direct thread really would not work? So people have like routines or habits or thought patterns and their beliefs, the values, stuff. It's generally speaking, it's quite different actually. Like there are a lot of overlaps, so that's why we can have communities or cultures, and there are some kind of shared things. But individually, there varies quite a lot, and the habit is like the thoughts habits too. It's like if you go to the school, whatever, and then if you get a certain notion of ideas, and if you start believing that's the truth, then you seriously believe that, and that's what you it becomes your identity. This is right and everybody else is wrong, that type of attitude, right? And it's a very common pitfall, especially when you're young. It's just because of I wouldn't say like it's because of the inexperience. It's just because you have too much energy. I would say more. Because if you have too much energy, you feel like invincible. And when you can say invincible, it creates some kind of hubris. And when you have a hubris, that's when you get into this notion that I'm right. I'm always right. But the world doesn't really, it's not the point. Like just like a nature, like nature kills whatever, right? It's not the point that it's right or wrong per se. So it's not like stone falls and then hits somebody's head, or whatever those kind of natural incident that happens, tragedy happens, it's not really right or wrong, if it comes down to it. So kind of clinging to this notion of like a really, okay, I'm right or somebody's wrong, and then they have to really see, somebody have to see your vision. That attitude it comes from a hubris, to me. And so, yeah, and you get a lot of resistance, right? Like if you do a direct method, right? Because you're challenging their belief system without any sort of acknowledgement or understanding. So people will just say, I don't get it, and then they get offended just because. Why? Because whatever hold dear, that's why they believe what they believe, right? If they don't hold dear, they don't believe anything. So whatever. And then if you have some kind of strong opinions, then that means possibly they have some sort of like a strong opinion, or even the belief that they have within themselves. So yeah, that's why you get quite a lot of resistance, and it doesn't work. I mean, people get defensive, means it's like they double down on their position, in a sense, like a position, right? And then the reason or anything doesn't work anymore. It's just whatever you said, I'm not listening, and I'm right. That type of attitude that you might be put people in if you go directly. So what is that really the best way to? Is that a like direct way, like kind of like make people like being friendly, or do some kind of trick or whatever, right? So, or even a threat. If you want to do the short-term influence, a lot of like tricks works. That's how the like scammers, or like tricksters, or whatever, it actually works. But then, hopefully you're not using this type of like knowledge to like doing some kind of evil thing or selfish things, right? Like, let's say if you want to make somebody else's life better, then the best way is to have think of what they want, what the other person want, like figure out what their what's their value, and then give them some kind of incentive, in a sense that, okay, if you do this, that you get what you want. Probably that's the most powerful, but then it's kind of abstract. You kind of have to figure it out. You got to get to know somebody to know what they want. And then something that they don't want, means like they don't want to touch this type of subject or whatever. You have to be able to figure it out. Generally speaking, people wanted to feel good about themselves. Of course, in a more specific way, like some people say status. Some people be appreciated, like better than, it's not good to think of better than, but then a lot of people want to think they're exceptional, right? So yeah, that's where that indirect method comes from. Like you do not make other people in a bad way. Like you're trying to make people, making sure that you raise their status, in a sense, with using your incentive, rather than attacking their, trying to drag them down, like, and they become defensive. And it's really true that you get really frustrated, right? Like people really don't, you're trying to do your best, and then people not really going according to your plan. Um, this is the thing about everybody, right? Everybody has different talent, different ability, and different way of living. Okay, everybody cannot replace your place and then live like you or think like you, right? I mean, that's just not possible. So you really have to understand that maybe that's their best. And then you might think, your life, like whatever the life you lead, would be probably great, but maybe not for many of the people. Maybe the one that you get frustrated, it's not necessarily that's the life that they want to live. It's really a lot of times like a struggle itself makes people actually very meaningful in life. And you might want to just take out the struggle. Okay, why you're doing this way, why you're making all this kind of mistakes, But I mean, some people are gifted intelligently or athletic or whatever. I mean, it's you just don't know what is not doing. It's the same thing as the mentality. I mean, we can kind of talk about this, like, hey, doing our best, but it's not like everybody can do it, and everybody's like something good, something not good, and then we all have to figure out our best place, right? Do as much as we can using our talent. So yeah, don't get frustrated, or things. You might get pissed off once in a while. It's natural, but just I think that really the key is to rather than frustrate, just think what you can do for yourself, and objectively just help as much. That's all, and then just back off. That's the most important thing. I mean, I would say love is sometimes like really. You need a tough love. It means it's like you need to be able to back off. You need to be able to let people, in a sense, suffer themselves. Just like a kid, like caring parents looking at child, like if they wanted to make the child strong, then you have to sometimes decide not to help, right? You just decide let them fail. So by not really influencing in a direct manner, like all the time, right? Like you using a subtlety, like a little support, like when somebody really struggling, give them a little bit of like encouragement, like a little bit of like directions. That's the best, really. No amount of the direct method will beat this subtlety, and that's a beautiful thing. That means you don't have to do that much to influence people's life positively. You can just do just a little thing here and there, and also like it release your burden. You don't have to be like you don't have to take on somebody else's life, right? So it's more like focusing on like in a sense patience, encouragement, incentive, love, and that type of things. A little more like sometimes you got to be strong, but what I'm trying to say is like a little more indirect manner. You might not get exactly what you want, but that's how the life is, right? Nothing is exact in the future, right? But they will be on some kind of positive, better path. than before, just because you influence a little bit. And also at the same time, you will always avoid unnecessary conflict. Conflict will always arrive, but then you are not creating unnecessary conflict. Of course, sometimes you got to be assertive. Some people try to take advantage of you, or they made a mistake. But then give people a little bit of benefit of doubt. That's what I'm trying to say here. And you don't waste your mental energy or physical energy for the things that it doesn't quite work. And then also you don't create like negativity, right? Direct method always creates some kind of negative energy. You're interfering with somebody's value or truth or whatever, like they're subject to truth. And so you get along with other people, create more positive karma, like everybody, right? Everybody thinks you're not like threatening kind of guy. You're not like emotionally uncontrollable, so things get a lot better. And then if somebody treats you better after that, I'm not saying at all that deceptive means it's like, if somebody wants the real truth, then you should clarify, and this might hurt you, but then this is what I think, or things of that nature. Be tactful, and then sometimes it's necessary, and then that only works if somebody's receptive. But then if you go from the round and round method, indirect method, then the world will start changing, and actually this whole concept of the round is the path to the shortest path to success. Thank you for watching. Please share your ideas in the comment section below to help each other, and hit like and the subscribe buttons so you get notified of the next video. See you next time.